Hey, it's Tom for GAK, and I'm sat with Jamie, who is GAK's resident in-house guitar tech. We've stolen him for the day to talk about how to care for your guitar, and this video is going to be specifically about caring for your guitar's finish and components on the body. So, take it away.
Okay, so most of us, you think we know how to polish a guitar fine, right? We spray the polish on, we run the cloth round, and then there's a lot more to it than that. You know. With a guitar finish, I mean, if you've got, say, like a relic Strat or something like that, you're not going to be particularly precious about it. But say you've got a beautiful PRS, carved top, real nice finish on there, you're going to want to maintain it and keep it clean. Now, a lot of people will generally just grab any old polish cloth, spray some polish on there, run it over the guitar and get the stuff off, and be, oh, that's good. And then they wonder, hang on a minute, I've got these super duper fine scratches in there and everything else.
Sure.
You need a sealed, fresh cloth every time.
Okay.
You know, if you're doing something really nice like this with a nice finish, we have it in the shop a lot of the time as well. We have a cloth. If I've seen a cloth and it's touched the floor or it's landed on the side anywhere, it's not being used anymore. That's it. It's gone. So, brand new, clean cloth straight out of the pack.
Cool.
It's not going to have any fibres in it. It's not going to cause you any problems in terms of marking it. Now, if you do mark it that way, then we're going to go into detail about how you can go around that and sort of rectify it afterwards. So again, for wiping this has got quite a few fingerprints on it now.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay, that's fine. With finishes, they can sometimes be very delicate. So say on a high-end guitar, you're going to find yourself it normally finished with nitrocellulose, which is a really thin finish, but it's also very soft as well. It doesn't take much to put a mark in there. Yeah. Similar to these finishes on the PRS as well. They're generally acrylic-based finish, but it's also a very, very thin finish. You'll find on the vast majority of guitars they're finished in polyurethane, and it's really hard to sort of, as a finish material to actually paint a guitar with. It's superior, it's harder, it's everything else. But from a tonal point of view, it's like there's always the big debate there with nitro versus poly and all of those.
Yeah, and it doesn't age the same way. So in terms of finishes, obviously you've got nitro and you've got this polyurethane finish as well. Yeah. You'd use exactly the same thing on those things?
It depends on the guitar that I'm looking at. If it's got finish checking in it and it's got, it's like a relic guitar, but you just want to clean it, regular polish.
Sure.
If it hasn't got any checking in it and it's a brand new finish, I would use the Platinum 65. Okay. It's easier to work with. It smells better.
Yeah.
And it leaves a nice layer of wax on the guitar as well. They do 3 variants of it. There's the if it's caked in muck, then they do a deep clean. If it's just for regular cleaning, they do a cleaner polish. And if you want to just put that final detail on there, they do a wax version as well.
Cool. So if you're not aware of what checking is, could you explain what that is?
So finish checking, again, this is what you'll find on a cellulose finished guitar. As the guitar ages, the wood expands and contracts, and it moves quicker than what the finish can on the top. So if you can imagine, it stretches and it opens out, it pulls that finish with it, and that's what causes it to crack.
Sure.
So if you use something like a wax-based cleaner or something like that, it can potentially get in those cracks and it might exacerbate accelerate, I think is probably the right word to use, the checking process. But I mean, most guys, once it starts checking, it's like, come on, let's go. Let's get this thing checked as quick as we can.
With checking, that's what you want.
Yeah.
So, so if you do want checking on your guitar, fill it full of wax.
So, it's great. Yeah, it's great stuff to you. So, sorry, going back to this, we'll run the polish over the top. Nice clean cloth, which I can't stress enough. If you have one that's dropped on the floor, it is going to scratch the finish and put micro scratches in there. And if you are worried, you might have something heavier in the cloth that may even cause more problems. If you put a big gouge in there, then it's not going to be 5 minutes to rectify that issue. Satin finishes, I cannot stress enough, they cannot be repaired.
Okay.
So a satin finished guitar, as lovely as they look, if you put a mark in it, there's not an awful lot that can be done about it. Yeah. Whereas gloss, it's a lot more forgiving, especially with nitro. You can do a near enough, if you put a chip in it or something like that, you can do a near invisible repair with it.
Sure. Okay, so if you did have a satin finish guitar, what would you recommend as like a polish for that?
Well, they're actually great because you don't have to clean them as much.
Fair enough.
They don't show up as many. They don't show up fingerprints like gloss do.
That's very true. Yeah.
But you just want to look after them. the reason that I say look after your guitar and keep it clean is it's kind of, you know, if you're going to hang it on the wall, it looks great and all of that kind of stuff. But a lot of electrical related problems happen from keeping it dusty. So say you've got your new, I mean we've still got the PRS here, but if you had a new Stratocaster that you've bought, it comes with the plastic film to protect it from scratches when you first get it. You've got it home, you've tuned it up, plays great, but you're going to take the film off. Slacken off the screws slightly and take off, if you can, take off the knobs. On a guitar like this, you're going to want to, let's put this cloth back in this bag because we don't want to put any grit in there. Here's a cool little tip, it's worth learning. If you want to take the knobs off of your guitar, there's this cool uni wrench. So you can use it for tightening up the nuts and things underneath. You want to slacken them off slightly, but you can also get the knobs off of the guitar by pushing it underneath and doing that.
Sure.
On this guitar, you're not going to want to do it because it doesn't have a flat plastic pick guard. So you're going to want to, here's a cool tip. So if you get your cloth, open it out like that, and then sort of wrap it underneath the knob, and then pull it at the other side, you then have a complete system to pull that knob off of the guitar so you can get cleaned underneath
You're not
it.
bending your fingernails back.
That's exactly it. Yeah, amount of times I've done it, it really hurts. Yeah, it does hurt. But the reason you want to get that plastic off is it's almost like a dust trap on that pick guard. If it stays underneath, so most people will grab it, pull it off the top, there'll be some left in the screws around the outside of it, and there'll be some left under the knob as well. It's almost like a dust attractor. So as you play the guitar, over a period of time, all this dust collects underneath the pot and it actually gets inside it and it causes a lot of electrical problems. Keeping your guitar clean is just going to stop, it's going to minimise the amount of dust that gets in the electronics. So you might move the switch and it'll start making scratching noises, the pots will start scratching as well. It's the number one problem we have, and it can all be prevented by just keeping your guitar well polished.
Cool.
So if you do happen to use a cloth and it's got some light marks in there, most of these can be filled in with a quality wax on the top. So we've used our regular polish to take off a lot of the fingerprints on this gloss guitar. And then we have another product here which is like a liquid Canuba wax. It's a cream of Canuba from Dunlop, and let's actually get it open, shall we, because it's still got the seal on the top.
So what is Canuba?
It's a type of wax.
And how do you cream it?
How do you cream it? So, just put a bit on the guitar, and then you want to use a microfiber cloth. If you've got a, that'd be the best thing to use.
Sure. You
want to work it into the finish. So as you can see here, there's the cloth. You want to work it round, and this will put like a protective barrier on the guitar, and it will also fill in any sort of micro scratches on there.
Oh,
and
you can see that, can't you?
Yeah, you can see it's sort of going in. So with Canuba wax, you kind of want to get it on there, cover the guitar. So we'll just do the face for this now, otherwise, you know, we'll be here all day. And it's quite, I actually enjoy doing this process on the guitar, funnily enough.
That's why he's a guitar tech.
Yeah. So put your wax on, give it a couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, you can really see actually the difference when you put that on.
Yeah, it's just, you can see that it's on there, but you know, with any wax, it's, you know that phrase, wax on, wax off.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got it on there, it's filling in any of those small little micro scratches.
Yeah, you sort of don't see them at all really anymore.
Well, you can see the wax on there at the moment.
Yeah, but like, if we leave filling those in.
Yeah, but if we leave it there for a second, that'll probably be enough now, and just get a clean, dry area of a cloth and then just rub it. You're going to end up with this beautiful sort of luster to your finish. You can see there quite a lot of those light marks that were in this particular guitar have almost gone, you know.
Yeah.
And it's also protected as well, you know, if you're playing and you know, if you're gigging with it and someone drops a beer or water gets thrown up on a stage, which you don't really want. I mean,
yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, if it leaves any marks or sweat and things like that, it just stops it from getting into the finish and potentially causing any damage that way.
Sure.
But there you go, if you look at that, you can see that's really nice and clean actually.
Yeah, that's great. Nice.
So yeah, waxing as well.
So do you have any tips for minimising like corrosion or sweat?
keep it clean all the time.
Sure, don't sweat, but like also clean it.
We always hear this thing, some people sweat acid.
Sure.
It's not really a nice thing to think about, but it does. It will kill their guitar strings quickly, and if it's on the hardware, it will cause that. I would always say, if you keep on top of the cleaning, it's not going to cause you too much of a problem.
Sure. So hopefully there you can get some ideas of how you can care for your body, keep it in top shape, so that if you're planning on keeping your guitar for a long time, you're not going to affect any form of like resale value or anything like that.
Yeah, it affects the value to a certain. Yeah, it can affect the value to a certain degree. Just keep it clean. It's just gonna. You're not gonna have any problems.
There you go. Keep your guitar clean. If you sweat, clean it up. If it's dirty, clean it. If you've enjoyed this video, leave us a like, subscribe to see more content like this, and check out some of our other videos on how to care for your guitar, and we'll see you next time.